What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Howling podcast. This is your host, Robert Carroll. Joining me today is Brian Carey.
How are you guys today?
And Jamel Owens.
What's going on, everybody?
And today we got a good show for you guys today. Starting off, we're talking about some gaming tech. Starting off, we got an exoskeleton, which is a new exoskeleton called A-Reg, which is called as real as it gets. This exoskeleton allows you to actually feel the gameplay as it's happening on screen. We got a nice little post about it on GameHow with a video included. It's a pretty cool system. As motion sensing, it allows you to feel pressure points. It can contract your muscles, going from a tingling sensation to a full-blown muscle contraction. Speakers at the headpiece, and yes, pressure points both at the front, the side, and the back, and included with a subwoofer. I think it's a pretty cool piece of tech. Allows you to get really immersed to the game, allow you to feel out what's going on in the game as opposed to just visualizing how it might feel. I think it's pretty cool. What you think, Jamel?
Well, first off, I think it's crazy that they had the science so exact to where when a bullet hits you, it's only going to register in the specific spot that it hit you. But even so, it's kind of scary because you think about some of the games that we play, your God of War, some of the really brutal and violent games that we play, and you really want to put that vest on, you really want to put that jacket on, and see what it feels like to be Kratos, see what it feels like to be somebody, Mason in Call of Duty, and take these bullets. I mean, all in all, it's a great step forward in gaming technology, and virtual reality is very much on its way.
Brian, what you think?
I don't know if you're going to be feeling the bullets or on like a crazy axe like Kratos would if you catch in the chest, but I mean, the vibration points all over the exoskeleton are pretty awesome. So say you get shot or hit by something, like I don't know, a stray piece of rubble. Say you're playing Uncharted, and I guess you're scaling a falling mountain. Say you get hit by something like that, the muscle spasms that would rupture. Dude, I'm sorry, I'm excited because the technology alone is pretty crazy. Like, forget even getting hit by a bullet, the subtle things, like say you're climbing a cliff, and like you start to feel the contractions in your chest and your shoulder muscles and things like that.
Right.
Or like you said, you're playing Call of Duty in the middle of a war zone and the subwoofer and all the speakers just going crazy and there's like this booming bass and you just, oh man.
Hearing the gunfire.
It's nuts. It's nuts. All I can say is hopefully we'll hear about this thing sometime soon in the future. Talk about mass production for release for the public. It's too much. It's way too much. It's too awesome, but it's too much.
A couple things I think would be real nice with this thing. Like, one issue I have with a lot of shooters, first person and third person. All right, say you're in the middle of a war fight, shooting around, getting shot by everybody. How does the game let you know? Most of the time the game lets you know by having arrows on the screen or making one of the corners of the screen red. You get shot on your left and your right. If you're in the middle of the war zone, the last thing I need is more stuff in my HUD.
I don't need anything else in my HUD flaring up any too hard. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think this will be a little bit more, instinctive. If I can feel something in my back or my side, as opposed to something going on in my HUD, I can stay focused on, trying to shoot whatever's shooting at me.
It's definitely interesting that you should mention instinctive gameplay, Rob.
Right.
Definitely interesting you should mention that, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
And definitely. One other thing I thought would be cool about it is like for horror games such as like your Fears, your Dooms, and things like that.
Oh, Doom.
Things that have me a little creepy crawly feeling to you.
Dude, Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, stuff like that.
Silent Hill.
Some Resident Evil.
Man.
It's a new level of fear. If I actually feel what they're trying to get me to feel, especially with some of the random attacks that be coming on in there, I think that'd be a real
artificially induced chills down your spine.
Exactly.
Guys. Man, wow.
Yeah, that's a little. It'd be really interesting. But I suggest y'all guys check out the post, check out their Kickstarter, even donate if y'all really feel. It's something y'all want to be interested in the future, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. We definitely will. Next up, we'll talk about the Omni, which is, we made a post about earlier. It's a treadmill, omnidirectional treadmill with an attached VR headset, which allows you to actually move into the game. What we have seen is a couple things like Skyrim and a few shooters, I believe Call of Duty and Team Fortress 2 were some of the demos that they use, but it allows you to actually be moving into the game. It takes Wii Fit and just the Wii motion capturing the whole nother level. You're actually moving and running the game. It also includes jumping as well. They actually just passed their Kickstarter goal, so they're actually going to move to production pretty soon.
They crushed it.
Yeah, exactly. And they've already news about how they're trying to attach it with the Xbox Connect. So it'd be pretty interesting to see how this goes forward. Jamel, what you think on that?
Like I said, with the air rig, virtual gaming is here and it's now. You got games where you have an omnidirectional treadmill and you're walking, you're running, and let's say you have the treadmill, you have the air rig vest on. So not only are you getting the sensations from the air rig, but you're feeling like you're really doing it. You're walking. You, in a sense, like the Kinect and all this. It's much more than a Kinect where, they try to make you the controller. You literally are the controller. You are the character that you're playing. You are the character in the game. So I'm really excited about these kind of things. These are, as a little kid, we were thinking about virtual reality and how cool it'd be when we were in elementary school. And now that it's finally here, I'm gonna be pushing little kids out the way, trying to get in that VR system. Like, nah, you gotta wait.
The Game Boy came out with
the Virtual Boy?
Virtual Boy. Oh, God.
The Virtual Boy.
So much black and red.
I'm sorry,
man. As you were.
That's pretty much it, though. I mean, yeah, what you think?
Well, this is one of those things, I think this has got me even more excited than the Be As Real As It Gets Fest. Because, I was just playing, what's it called, Mirror's Edge this past week, right?
Right.
And just imagine playing a game like Mirror's Edge on an omnidirectional treadmill, first-person view, being submerged into, like a Tomb Raider. Like, you're climbing those cliffs yourself. You're really Lara Croft. You're scaling up those ropes. You're taking out, I don't even know what I classify the villains as. Crazy island people in Tomb Raider. The possibilities, man. What else? You guys help me out?
I mean,
Call
like
of
you
Duty,
said, Skyrim.
Skyrim, thank you.
You're definitely getting your fitness out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, RPGs, for all those people talking about, RPGs played by a bunch of fat people on the couch probably change up real quick, get that cardio.
Really quickly,
yeah. Especially
RPG fans are going to be the most fit people on earth.
Yep, your MMOs. Grinding.
Dog, you see people. Can you imagine Joe on that Dynasty Warriors?
Oh.
But with the Oculus Rift. I know. For you viewers who don't know what we're talking, as a matter of fact, it's best not to even get into it.
But what we're discussing is that this actually can have a huge health benefit. I think what it can be, it definitely allows you to actually be active and be intrigued by whatever you're playing at the same time. It just really draws you into the game. It's just another step in gaming. And for any of you indie developers out there, this is probably something to help you get onto the market, because I'm pretty sure Sony and Xbox, Sony and Microsoft, I should say, are going to try to get into this a little bit. But, that probably, take it down the road. One of the indie developers out there should probably go ahead and maybe try it out.
You just need one awesome developer to get out there and do something great.
That's all you need.
Take off.
Exactly. But again, we got another post on that. They both got Kickstarters. Again, Exoskeleton is still working on there. They just posted it this past week, so I guess y'all should, help them out. And also the Omni, they passed theirs. They're going to full production. Also, just want to mention the co-founder of the Omni, of the Oculus Rift, his name?
Andrew Race.
He passed away this past week. He was the co-founder. He got caught in a hit and run, but they're still pushing forward the project. So just thought he'd get a mention out there, somebody who's really trying to change the game industry. Rest in peace on him. But again, support them, just keep an eye out for this stuff, guys. This next gen is looking real good, not just from the console perspective, but also just from all the peripherals involved, just really intense stuff. But moving on about the tech, we're going to talk a little about the home sync for the Samsung, our resident Samsung expert, Jamel. What you got for us?
Well, we have the Samsung Home Sync, which is a cloud storage device. And the specs for it is a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core processor, has a terabyte of memory. It supports up to 8 accounts, and it also supports HDMI. Now, the beautiful thing about this is just Samsung is really delving in the world of having connectivity with all of your Galaxy devices in the home. So now you can connect it with your Galaxy S4, your Galaxy Note, your Galaxy Tab, your Samsung TV. They're really doing it big. They're being very thorough with their production. The simple thing about it is you download an app, you set your S4 on top of the home sync, and there it goes. It's synced up right there. Another thing about it, with the S4, you have 3 different ways to use it as a remote. You can use it as a regular mode, like a laser pointer. You point at the screen and it moves an arrow cursor around. You also have what's mirror screen. And mirror screen is whatever that shows up on the TV is also showing up on your phone, your S4, and you can slide through it and it'll do the same thing on the screen. And the final way is a finger cursor. You can use your S4 as a pad to move the arrow cursor around with your finger and then click that way. So I'm really excited about this. It's a much more personal cloud versus the Google Cloud where everybody has access to everything. So I'm really excited about this home sync. I love my Samsung products, and I would love to have me a home sync.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to talk about the main part you want to hear from us. It was the video games. E3 is coming up next week, June 11th through the 13th. We're going to talk about some of the games coming out. Will hopefully be announced or talked about next week. I'm excited for all the companies. Starting off, we're going to probably talk about a little about some Destiny. That's the game created by Bungie. If you haven't heard, it's a first-person shooter with a lot of social capabilities. They're not calling it an MMO per se. They call it more of just a social game for the consoles.
Shared world environment.
Shared world environment.
I call it personally the spiritual successor to Halo, because Halo 5 is just overdoing it, so they had to do something else. But all the same.
True. Bungie is definitely known for their Halo series, and if this person could do a shooter on an MMO type of scale, it's definitely probably them. We got some more details came out this past week. Jamel, what you heard?
Well, Destiny definitely has my mouth salivating. Bungie already expressed that it is a shared world. They don't want to call it an MMO FPS. They're going to support both co-op missions and competitive gameplay. And the best thing about it, there's no talk so far, but we can probably hope that there's not going to be a subscription fee. For the facts that we have out about it now, you have 3 different species of characters that you can choose from, whether it be male or female. You got humans, you got the Awoken, you got Exo. And then within those 3 species, you can pick 3 different classes: Hunter, Titans, and Warlocks. You have a large inventory of weapons you can choose from, and the customizability of it is just crazy. You can customize the weapons, your armor. You can pretty much customize from head to toe, literally. The Destiny world it's a very big world, and it looks interesting. You can upgrade your ships. You can purchase ships. There are several different enemy classes, enemy factions that we're touted to be able to play against. And so it looks like a very in-depth and really innovative and new experience coming. What do you think?
I'll keep it short and sweet because you pretty much nailed it. Destiny's looking awesome. I will not tell a lie. You know how I feel about first-person shooters by this point. For listeners and readers, you guys know how I feel by now if you've been reading consistently. But I'm willing to make some stance changes. Absolutely, you pretty much nailed it. All I can do is be like a fangirl, so I'll try to avoid that. Rob, if you got anything to add, please do.
I'll touch on the points. It's definitely a very interesting game. I'm very interested to see how it does on the PS4. Maybe because of all the social options that are available to it. I'm kind of worried a little bit about the Xbox with the DRM and stuff, but we'll probably get to that more a little bit later. I definitely think this would be very good to PS4 with all the social options that they already promoted already. But definitely Xbox. We'll see what they got. This Bungie and Halo started here, so if they can't hold it down on where it started from, that tells you right there. But it is what it is.
Actually, hold that thought. I'm sorry. Speaking of Xbox One, you've had a bunch of reveals basically come out today about the specifics of the Xbox One, and it's pretty much all been bad. I've got a quick list I'll read to you guys, but the console has to connect to the internet every 24 hours at least once in order for you to play your games.
Right.
That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me personally. It's rather inconvenient for a lot of people out there, but that's what Microsoft wants to do. They also will allow the sale of used games for participating retailers, but only if the publisher allows it. The funny thing about that is because game publishers are the people who are most opposed to used game sales. So what's the term I'm looking for? Catch-22 doesn't quite seem to cut. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. There are also some restrictions on how you can give and loan your games away. Lending won't be available at launch, but Microsoft is still exploring the possibilities, quote unquote. But spotting a game to a friend or borrowing is going to be infinitely more difficult this console generation this time around than this past one and in years previous. Microsoft, guys, get it together. E3 is here. You gotta kill the show basically because you pretty much had a bad few weeks since the console was pretty much announced. You had a pretty lackluster reveal show or a press event debuting the show. You got all these bad news coming out. You got the always online and the lack of publisher support or indie support. Just get it together, guys. That's just want to message that out there really quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta connect to the internet once a day.
Once a
play
day.
your games, even if you're playing offline games.
Yeah, I think it's a bit much. Saying if you had interconnection, I mean, while definitely America and probably some of the bigger markets are definitely more connected to the internet, but there's plenty of people who don't have it for whatever various reasons due to cost.
I mean, what if you're a military person, you're in the military and you can't connect to the internet?
Exactly.
Or if you're a student and the internet can, the school Wi-Fi is down or something like that, and you can't play your Xbox. I mean, it's just
there's a lot more. There's not more negatives than positives on that.
Yeah.
So we definitely Microsoft. If you're listening, you definitely need to show us out at E3 because that reveal all we got is TV, and I appreciate that, but we can watch TV from anywhere, even from our phones nowadays. So you gotta get a little bit more than that. But anyway, Jamil, you got any more games for E3 you excited about?
Well, there have been 3 games confirmed for the PS4, and it's going to be DC Universe Online, PlanetSide 2, and Warframe. And what all these have in common is that they're online games, I know plenty of people who had Universe Online, DC Universe Online, I'm sorry.
Right.
They were worried that, they put on all this time into perfecting their hero or villain. Will it was all be for a waste? PlanetSide, if you don't know, is just a MMO FPS first-person shooter, and then you got Warframe, which is about space ninjas and fighting together on there. And Warframe also will include microtransactions. Mm-hmm. Now, what I think the most interesting thing about PS4 having these MMO RPGs and FPSs is I really think they're starting to take the battle to the PC doorstep.
Right.
There's been plenty of times, plenty of debate. You always have your division between console gamers and PC gamers, and PC gamers always feel that they lord over everything. But pretty much the best thing they had were the specs of this, what can the CPU do, and then they had their online capabilities. And now with these next-gen systems, both the PS4 and the Xbox One, they're able to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. You got anything to add, Brian, on that?
Not especially, to be perfectly honest with you. Jamel kind of nailed it. He pretty much took every point that I could have made. I mean, good work, son. Good work, man. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could add more, but my coworker here killed it.
Yeah, but PC Master Race, as I'm sure some of y'all might feel like there's, definitely feel on top of the world because, PC, you can interchangeable parts. You can always upgrade and change it. Of course, what you get with the console is kind of stuck with. But I think as we move more to cloud-based gaming, and I believe at some point PS4 is talking about what's that? Playing games on that type of cloud. I forgot what it was called. I don't know. It was Transform. It was at some point. I know Sony was talking about how you can play older games on their servers, like not necessarily your console games, but something like the downloadable titles from your old titles. You got to play it on their PC machine, so to speak. So maybe down the road we may not have to be able to compete with the parts of a PC, but you definitely get the gameplay. But that all depends on interconnection, and I feel that they're testing the waters out with the consoles right now. But definitely E3 is going to be something really big. So, out of the 3 major players between Nintendo, Xbox, and PS4, who y'all think is going to be the winner and why? Brian?
You know what? I'm going to roll with my fanboy cousin this one. I'm rolling with Sony. First and foremost, Nintendo's not even having a formal press event anymore. They've done the thing down to Nintendo E3. It's basically their live stream. They're not doing a major press event this year, so they've more or less taken themselves out of the running. Microsoft is just having bad day after bad day after bad day. More bad information seems to come out, or I shouldn't say bad, but less than favorable information seems to come out about the Xbox One every day. It's not looking good, and I just don't think that they can do enough to at least steal the show at E3. I mean, Sony's already in good standards based on what the other 2 guys are doing, they're almost winning by default already, more or less. All they gotta do is keep pumping out, we'll keep doing here, some more exclusive titles. This is what we're looking at, this is what we're doing. Drop some favorites, drop some new stuff, it'll be A-okay. That's just me. But Sony looks like it's got this one in the bag.
Jamel, what you got?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's a three-way shootout because we all know Nintendo. I feel like they made a Dreamcast mistake with the Wii U. I feel like, and that's exactly how Sega went out. And I hope that it's not the case, but it seems like that might happen to Nintendo. Personally, somewhere down the line, probably soon. Personally, I think Sony's gonna edge it out. I mean, they're already reported to be putting out 40 plus games at E3. 40 games, and we only saw how many out of Xbox? The main thing Xbox shows.
We were told there'd be 15 brand new.
We were told there were going to be 15 brand new games, brand new developers, brand new IPs, including that. But even now, Microsoft is still trying to get more exclusives for Xbox TV and all of that. They're too worried about the total package of it being an entertainment center versus being a game. And at E3, it's all about gaming.
Right.
So with that said,
hear about fantasy football at E3.
Exactly. So with that said, I think Sony's gonna take the cake easily.
Well, we're all in agreement here on that. So I think Sony's gonna definitely take the cake. As for the loser, though, I'm not really sure. I'm flipping between Nintendo and Xbox. Xbox because their DRM, connecting once a day, and definitely Nintendo because they just pulled their Wii Basic off the shelves. And on top of that, it still has no real games been announced. We know they're making something. I mean, we haven't got any Zeldas or Samuses or Smash Brothers, Mario Kart.
I think there will be that. I think that should be there.
Yeah,
so, God bless them for that. But no.
But I'm saying that's what we're hoping on because even still, then are they going to be enough to compare what we would see from everybody else at E3?
No.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, other than the fanboys may not be able to see everybody. So hopefully, for winner definitely Sony. Loser, I might still with the Xbox. I think there's a lot too much hate right now for that DRM, no use games. I can't lend games to my friends. I mean, it kind of just kills what what simple gaming is. Be able to hang out with your friends, play games with ease. It's supposed to be entertainment, not more of a hassle to be able to enjoy yourself in your game time. But it is what it is on that. But definitely. Also, I'm sure y'all know this past week, Michael Pachter. He mentioned about the prices. The prices possibly might be under $400. Now I thought it was a very big shock, mainly because the technology in these games are pretty big. Between remote play on the PS4, connectivity to your TVs, all these extra peripherals we just mentioned in the beginning, all these type of things going on. I find it very odd that the PS4 is going to end up
could possibly be $349.99,
half the price of the PS3 at launch. With more hard drive and everything. I find it's hard to believe. I find it very difficult. Somebody's gonna take a blow somewhere. I find it very hard to believe. It's possible, hey, y'all thumbs up to y'all, but I'll be there day one. But I find it difficult to believe, but I'm definitely excited for it. Brian, what you think?
Junk just occurs to me though, Rob. Pay $600 for 20 gigs, but pay $349 for what? Terabyte-ish? Look, it just sounds a little too good to be true. I know that Sony especially, they've got to get this launch right with everything that went wrong with the launch of the PS3. Boy, though, $349.99, I wish, but I don't get your hopes up, folks. I'll leave it at that.
And I can definitely agree with that. I mean, like we said, the thing about these next-gen consoles is that their specifications are comparable to the top CPUs out there, top PCs, the top laptops, your Razer gaming laptop, all of that. So with that being said, you're not going to get any of those computers, laptops, or anything for probably under $1,000. Now, like we said, there will be some subsidizing for the price and all that, but for it to drop to $349, I just feel that's highly unlikely. Maybe $499, $599.
Yeah. Well, we'll get more details of course at the show. We'll probably get some bundles, probably some packaging. We'll get more understanding of what's going on with that. But if it comes to $400, I'm definitely be excited for it. And be really competitive too with the holiday coming up. Since both of the consoles are dropping this fall, and Wii U's already out there. And if they have the games to actually compete with them, maybe they can even make a small comeback, but a comeback nonetheless. One of our hosts' favorite franchise, Metal Gear Solid 5, is having a little switch up. Metal Gear Solid 5's Solid Snake, right?
It's actually going to be Naked Snake.
Naked Snake. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland, Jack Bauer, you guys, the greatest hero television's ever seen, of 24 fame, is going to be doing the motion capture and the voice for Naked Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I have mixed. I think it's great, but at the same time, it kind of kills me because David Hayter has been the voice of Solid Snake and Naked Snake pretty much the entirety of this franchise, the MGS franchise. So it's been over 10 years and it's been the same guy doing the same voice for all the characters. It's going to be hard to see that shift. It really is. But it's Jack Bauer, you guys. It's Jack Bauer. We were talking about 24. Kiefer Sutherland. I can't complain. I can't hate. I mean, he's about 46. Naked Snake about 49. It just seems like a match made in heaven. It seems a little too good to be true. If anybody else wants to take the floor on this, absolutely not. I just want to make a point and announce that to you guys really quickly. Kiefer Sutherland, the new Snake, MGS5, Phantom Pain. Watch out for that.
I'm interested in the Phantom Pain because
Flaming Wells.
with that was the most trippiest trailer I've ever seen for any game. Like everybody knew it was Snake related or Metal Gear Solid related. There's only one major character in the gaming world who wears a mullet, so that kind of tells you.
Rock and roll in an iPad,
and still
be
had that street cred.
Exactly. So, but what's Konami? What's the maker's name again?
Konami. Oh, Kojima.
Kojima, yes. Kojima, he always has something slick up his sleeve. So I'm very interested he's going to do this particular game. He always got some weird plot holes, twists. Everything's going to be crazy. What you think you know you don't know until the very end. I mean, for all I know, there's another trilogy right here. So we'll see what's coming out. Jamel, you got anything to add on that?
Not too much. I haven't played all the Metal Gear Solids, but I guess it would be to some dismay to have a different voice at just last game when you've been with one voice rocking and rolling
since '98. Yeah,
rocking and rolling since
David Hayter,
the first one.
I want you to know that.
All right, then. Well, to close out, guys, just one more thing. I want y'all to just tell us what's that one game you're watching out for at E3 you're most excited for and why. Jamel?
Well, as you can tell, I am hyped about Destiny. I already told you it has my mouth watering. I can't wait to see some actual gameplay, to see what it actually looks like. The little trailers they've shown, they all look beautiful, and I just want to see. I have to see what it looks like.
All right.
Playing.
Brian, what about you?
I'm torn between Watch Dogs, and what I hope will be the next Super Smash Bros. Game. But Watch Dogs, I'm definitely leaning towards that. It's looking crazy, you guys. Check it out. I'm
also looking at Watch Dogs as well. Just so y'all know, I am a very high Super Smash Brothers fan, but
you know too well.
L cancel.
Leave my pride all over the floor.
But hopefully we'll see something nice from them. I mean, Sakurai was the creator he made Kirby and the Super Smash Brothers franchises.
Captain Falcon.
But he's not taking over the multiplayer aspect of this game, so maybe it'll be something new. But I'm hyped but nervous at the same time. So I'm going with the sure bet. I'm going to go with Watch Dogs. All the stuff connectivity wise, like I know about lots of the game is based around your cell phone and hacking into stuff. I'm curious because I'm wondering if they're going to try to bring it to like actual with their phones out here, like your Samsungs, your iPhones, and all that, actually play like app-based games that will affect your game online. Obviously, these games are obviously going mobile, whether it's remote play, talking to your Windows device or Samsung devices. Is obviously they're trying to go mobile, compete with all the the apps and angry birds out there. So definitely something to watch out for. But anyway, guys, this is the Howling Podcast. This is your host Robert Carroll joining me again.
Brian Carey
and Jamel Owens.
Peace out, everybody.
Go ahead. No, go now.
All right, guys. Yeah. Next topic up. I'm sorry, I fucked up. Yeah.
No, we can edit this shit.
Next topic up. Yeah. How do you Michael B. Jordan possibly being up for Johnny Storm in this Fantastic Four reboot? Jamel, go.
Well, you know, a lot of people, the purists, as you like to say, they're not going to be happy with this, but, you know, that happens with any movie you got out there. But, like Michael B. Jordan said, the characteristics of the Human Torch are his name, Johnny Storm. He's charismatic, and he's a playboy. So, with that being said, anybody could be Johnny Storm who has those qualities. So, I think this would be an interesting. It's going to be slightly controversial, yes, but that can also make it a success. That could be something, you know, that gets more people's attention. Some people want just a little bit different thing to catch their attention again, because, you know, sometimes you get tired of the same old run-of-the-mill thing. So you got to switch it up just a little bit. Not too crazy where you kind of lose the essence of who the character is, but just enough to, you know, give it a revamp.
I agree with that. I mean, a lot of people were pretty upset about that, but it does beg the question, is this something that we can change? I mean, Johnny Storm has been blonde-haired white guy for quite some time.
It's been about almost 60, 70 years or 50 years now.
Something like that. Some purists, you know, there's not many of them, but they have a very loud voice. But how much can you change the character? Like you mentioned before, you know, he still has the character personality intact, but do you lose that in some of the character if they change it up? Like, say, for example, what if they made, you know, James Bond a black guy? What if they made Shaft a white guy? Do we keep the character? Do they still amplify the same themes? Does it depend on the situation? I mean, how far can we go? I mean, I know Power, of course, you know, they change him to a black guy, white guy, Irish guy, whatever. They do it all the time anyway. But, you know, where's the limit at? What y'all think?
Well, look, I've got to play devil's advocate here a little bit, you guys. Personally, I'm all for an African-American actor portraying Johnny Storm. I'd still definitely go see the movie. It's still worth checking out, in my opinion. But I've got to play devil's advocate here, all right? The purists do kind of have a point. Are we changing things because they need to be changed? Or are we changing things because we want, you know, let's say a particular director, Josh Tranks, I'm not calling him out, or Fox the studio. Are we changing things for the sake of changing things? Do we want to be controversial just to be controversial? Is Johnny Storm trying to be black so Fox can generate controversy and buzz? Or will it actually contribute to the story at all, you know? And changing his race, I feel, personally, what exactly does it contribute to the story, you know? I mean, yeah, as an African-American myself, it's nice to see some guys get some shine. It is what it is, you know? I'm not going to deny that.
There aren't very many African-American superheroes
out there. I mean, Steel, you guys remember Steel with Shaq? Remember that?
Oh, I remember.
I mean,
although when I was little, that was a jump when I was little.
Yeah, I mean, when you know, in the mid '90s when you're growing up, it was awesome. But I mean, we had Spawn, and we had Blade, and I mean, when you look back, neither of those movies aged terribly well, you know. But I've got to play devil's advocate in the sense that are we changing things just to change things? But Michael B. Jordan said it best himself. I mean, I wrote a post up on GameHow. I encourage you guys to check it out. But just like Jamel said, it's 2013. Things move on, or things change, you know? Johnny Storm, he's a charismatic playboy, all right? I mean, he doesn't have to be white to be a charismatic playboy. That's definitely true. Speaking of, is anything else? As a matter of fact, is anything...
I just wanted to touch on, Rob said, what can we change, or how far is it to where it's a problem? And like you said, he alluded to Shaft. And I think certain things, it is situational. Shaft,
The Shaft is not, if I may intercede for a moment. Shaft's
the best example.
Shaft's identity lies in the fact that he's black.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. So, and that's where the rub lies. It's all dependent upon, is the race really that pertinent to what the character is?
I suppose so.
No, I mean, like I said, maybe Spawn may be a better example, because Spawn was what's Spawn's origin again?
He was black.
He was black, but I mean that wasn't.
White played him.
That wasn't. How would I put it? That's not integral to the character itself.
No.
You know, it's not integral at all to the character itself. Shaft's not so much.
But I want to touch on your point earlier. You were saying it could, are we changing the color for controversial purposes? Are we changing? But I was thinking, is it just because they want more black people to watch it? I mean, Fantastic Four is an all-white cast technically. We're talking about mid-60s here when they got the jump off. I mean, Fantastic Four, in this day and age, 2013, we're a little bit more, socially inclusive. Make sure we got our women, we got our, minorities and stuff like that. Are we just touching on because it's, PC, the PC world that we live in, and we touch on it just to touch on it, get more of that, minority to watch the movie?
I mean, let's take into consideration in the previous Fantastic Four movies, they cast Jessica Alba, who's Hispanic. And they gave her, that terrible blonde hair and them terrible blue contacts. And I mean, for what reason? They brought her on for star power. That's really it. That was the only reason she was selected for that role. That being said, I mean, I'm a cynic. I believe that Hollywood makes these changes not to benefit the movie at all, just to generate controversy and generate buzz.
Generate cash.
To create cash, exactly. They're not changing. Or that's just me. That's just the cynic in me speaking.
And I believe at the same time, like you said, in the 60s when this was all created, and these are just how the things were touted. Nowadays, you have more African American actors who, when they were little, they were interested in superheroes, and they would love a chance to be one. And like we said, there aren't that many black superheroes out there. You got
Black Panther.
You got Goliath. I mean, you don't have that many.
Yeah.
Goliath. But you do have Luke Cage.
Was anybody else offended that they had to change Goliath's name to Black Goliath and became a black guy? I'm sorry. As you were. In the comics.
And Luke Cage brings us to
I'm sorry. Speaking of Luke Cage, word on the street is that The Rock is inching nearer and nearer this role. He's up for the role of Luke Cage. He's down with it, apparently. Kevin Feige is down with it. How do you guys feel about that? Anybody else that you'd rather roll with in particular? Jamel, we'll open with you.
Well, there really isn't anybody else. Some people said that maybe Terry Crews would have been a good role. But as we had a discussion yesterday, Terry Crews is pretty comedic. He's not going to give off... So far in his movies, he hasn't given off a terribly serious demeanor at all. And not to say that he couldn't do it, but The Rock has proven himself at times, and in movies, of course, in his extensive wrestling career, he can give off that serious. He can be very serious when it comes down to it. He has that serious face, and he's a proven star. So he definitely has the build for it. He's big, he's buff. He's got it. Honestly, I don't see very many other people who could do it.
With all due respect, if you've seen The Rock's movie, The Walking Tall, he's basically Luke Cage in that movie there and then. He's just got a uniform on. That's really all it is. Rob, how do you feel?
I do think Terry Crews. I think he would be one of the best ones. I know you're talking about the comic relief. He's typically funny, so people might not see him as a serious character. Being a summer blockbuster, i.e., like something like The Avengers, you don't have to be. It's a comic movie. It's got to be more entertaining than opposed to serious, supposedly. So,
absolutely.
So funny. It would be too bad at times. I think if he was still alive, that guy, the Green Mile guy, I think he would have been good.
Michael Clark Duncan.
I think he could have been Luke Cage. I can see him doing that.
Sure.
Probably trim up a little bit, but other than that,
look like this. He was Kingpin, but hey, look. Chris Evans was Johnny Storm, and now he's Captain America. So hey.
Yeah, it could have been doable, but yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rock is definitely not a bad choice. He
definitely him Obama.
He's definitely more fit for the role. Considering who we have left to act him out. But
Tyrese has been attached to the role. Isaiah Musav has been attached to this role. But between those two and The Rock, between those three characters, I'd probably have to pick The Rock. He's got the physique. He actually looks like he could be a superhero. We're not gonna have to worry about filling up his suit.
Oh yeah.
With a padded muscle, because he's just gonna walk around. He's got the physique nailed.
Yeah, don't need no CG on that.
don't need any CG enhancement on that one. Exactly.
And to all the listeners, how do you feel about The Rock being Luke Cage? Because you know what The Rock says, right? It doesn't matter what you think, you Rudy Pujabroni, because he's gonna bring this role and he's gonna bring it home.
He's gonna lay the smackdown on
He's gonna lay the smackdown on your candy ass and everybody who thinks that he can't do it, and he's gonna prove himself. I think if this really happens, if it comes to fruition, it's gonna be good.
Look, Marvel Studios they have yet to lead anybody astray with their casting choices. Okay, do you disagree?
Don Cheadle.
That's certainly debatable. I think
not that Terrence Howard was the best Rose either. I think this is the closest they've gotten to actually picking something that makes sense as far as for the black actor, in my opinion.
I agree. Rob, anything?
I agree with that. You know, Marvel's there's some cheap people over there. They do not want to pay nobody, which why the Luke Cage.
Unless you're Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. is the best actor in the world, so
He is now. He's getting paid like one. I tell you that.
God, yeah, there's that.
So, but yeah, I do think their casting in Marvel is off and on at times. Probably due to money, and there's no reason for that. But hey, it is what it is. Precisely.
All right, you guys. I want to talk to you about Star Trek Into Darkness. Okay, Rob, you and I saw the movie last week. How'd you feel about it?
I like the movie. Like I said again, once the hype died down, I kind of compare it to the other summer movies so far. Right now, it's only just the Iron Man out. I put it a little bit under Iron Man, partly just because I don't think they did enough with the story. At least we'll look at the con. Like I never saw the original Star Trek movie with Khan, and I know pretty much
the Wrath of Khan.
Right, I saw pretty much I wikied it, and I understand what the character is a little bit, but consider this a reboot, so to speak. I didn't get enough of the character other than that he just kicked ass in the streets. But other than that, I mean, I didn't get enough feel for the character. He kind of just came in, beat a couple people up and then went back out. But the action was definitely good. They definitely kept me entertained, definitely. But I know it was missing a couple things for me. It was just missing it was missing something. It had everything. It had all the pieces, but it didn't use them effectively.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, if I could just keep it short and sweet, I trust J.J. Abrams, and I'm glad that I did, in the sense that he used every character in the movie well enough. How do I put it? No one felt particularly shortchanged. I mean, perhaps maybe Zoe Saldana, but that's a story for another day. Jamal, there's actually a question I'd like to pose to you. In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, the original, just roll with me, okay? Khan was originally a Hispanic man. Ricardo Montalban played the character. Mm-hmm. All right, and I just want to know how you feel about perhaps them whitewashing the role, more or less.
Well, see, there it goes again. We bring it back to the same discussion we were having about Michael B. Jordan. Does it really matter? Is the race that integral to who the character is? I think maybe if they had a similar actor with the credentials or the acting ability of the Ricardo Montalban nowadays, if they had a better selection to choose from, maybe they would have. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure who could have been there.
Well, you know what? Actually, to be fair, they tried to get Benicio del Toro to play this role at first, but something happened. He dropped out. That's, if you want to research that more fully, feel free to. Benicio del Toro was supposed to play the role in the beginning. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch kind of killed the role for me. He was the highlight of the film in a lot of ways. He stole a lot of the scenes that he was in. That voice, man. What can I say?
All right. Well, another movie I want to touch on was coming up is Superman. Since we all talking about movies already. Also the same thing. They also announced a couple of character changes. Jimmy Olsen is now Jenny Olsen. A lot of people also heated about that. Overall, I think it's a good movie though. But it's another thing where it's just coming up with these people are changing characters, and I'm just sure how to feel about it. Like for Lawrence Fishburne, now he's playing Perry White. He's a good actor, no doubt about that. So I think personally for movie purposes, even if you change the character's race, I think as long as you pick a better actor, I wouldn't just pick just an actor just to pick an actor, so to speak. Right?
Precisely.
Let's not hit. You don't have to hit. If you didn't have that many black people or any other minority or any particular race or gender in particular movie, as long as everybody's good, I get a sense that they really feel like the character. I would even take a person who's actually read these comics, actually has experience, kind of what these characters are, what they're supposed to embody a little bit. I would take that over anything.
It really makes him miss Heath Ledger, doesn't it? Because I mean, you read the stories about how he locked himself up in a hotel room for a whole month, perfecting that art of the Joker, reading the novels that he did, preparing for that role. And I mean, we all reap the benefits of that. We still do to this day,
Method acting is just being something that's a thing of the past nowadays.
It's unfortunate too. That's how it's.
That's where you get your best acting. Honestly, I mean, there are a lot of people who can just do script acting and all that, just read the lines and sound good and all that. But the method acting, that's how you really, when you become the character it's not acting anymore.
Right.
You get the best possible portrayal you can of whatever character is supposed to be.
Precisely. I mean, at the end of the day, the bottom line is this: if the actor that's chosen, the actor portrays the character and brings truth to the character on screen, race is irrelevant. Race is definitely irrelevant. You know, it's fun to talk about now. You know, when nothing's official with this Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm. But I mean, if he brings justice to the role, I mean, is he? We'll all probably remember this movie more fondly than we did the original Fantastic Four anyway. You know, in my opinion.
I agree.
As long as Galactus is actually Galactus and not a cloud, but that, you know, forgive
man.
me.
Ain't nobody want that.
Nope.
The looming cloud.
All right, so what we've seen so far between Iron Man and Superman was the two superhero movies for this summer. Which y'all think is gonna take the cake?
Man of Steel.
Think so?
I have really high. Look, I'm a DC fanboy. Robbie, give me a lot of crap for that. I have high hopes for this movie because if this one tanks DC, that Justice League flick is gonna. Wow.
Limbo.
That's gonna. Yeah.
Limbo.
It's gonna be even more impossible to get off the ground than it seems impossible now. It already seems impossible. If this movie tanks the way Green Lantern did, if it goes the way of Green Lantern, I don't even want to think about it. I can't. My DC fanboy heart can't take it.
I think Iron Man's gonna win out in terms of the numbers.
Oh well, I mean, it's already crossed the bill. You know, it's.
Well, Superman's a popular character though, but the only reason I say it won't cross that threshold only is because it's kind of like how the Hulk did. Hulk's a popular character, or was, so to speak. But you know, due to that movie that was Hulk, you know, back in 2003, I think
Ang Lee's Hulk. Yeah.
it did enough damage to the character where nobody was interested in seeing the sequel. I mean, the Man of Steel is a reboot of a reboot. So
Really, let's be fair. Exactly.
I mean, they pretty much fired everybody but the janitor on that one. So
Exactly. The Superman just has a lot of ground to cover before it can even. It's not really starting up from zero. It's starting up below zero.
Below zero, yes.
It has to make it to zero just to be okay. Let's check it out.
Yes.
Right now, it's like I got no reason to.
Absolutely. Warner Bros. Has zero goodwill with the fans right now after Superman returns in 2006.
So I think Superman is going to grow pretty much by the word of mouth of the people who just decide, let's check it out. And when they see it and they're like, okay, it's pretty good, they can convince other people to go check it out. So it's going to have to grow by the word of mouth more so than just the trailers itself. Because the trailers, I can't lie, they look good, but I've been let down by a lot of Superman movies lately.
Yeah, all trailers look good. You know, that's what they're paid to do. That's what the editors are paid to do. Cut together awesome trailers.
Exactly.
Green Lantern trailers had everybody going crazy a few years back, and you know, we saw how that went.
I haven't even finished that movie.
but I do think overall, I mean, the Superman movie, once they make a trilogy, I'm assuming they will do, assuming this goes off pretty well. I think the trilogy might outdo Iron Man. I mean, Iron Man 3, of course, you know, had a good succession of movies 1 and 2. I mean, so he had a little bit of a steamroller.
Yes, he has a sizable fan base.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that the Avengers, this is Marvel. Oh, Iron Man 3 was Marvel's first movie fresh off the Avengers.
Right.
That installed fan base was higher than it ever was before.
Very true.
If we were seeing Iron Man 3 the first time directly off of Iron Man 2 and not the Avengers, that $1 billion, I don't think that's there.
Right.
I don't think that's there.
All right. Well, hopefully we can see in the future. Then in the summer we might be able to see something.
Jamel, we watched this anime the other day called Valkyrie the other day.
Yes, we did.
I'd like you to comment on that quite a bit. We like anime a lot here at Game Hound. We're gonna review our fair share of anime here, and the first one up is gonna be Valkyrie the Liberator. Go.
Well, before we even get started into the discussion of Valkyrie, it's very refreshing to run across this anime because you're always on Netflix and Hulu looking for the next good anime to watch, and for the longest time it's been a drought. Honestly, it's been a drought to find really an anime that you can see yourself really waiting for the next episode to come out. And this anime just came out in April, I believe it is, and it's written by the writer of Code Geass and also the writer and the character designer of The Gray Man. Now this anime here, you're gonna see remnants of both animes and very much so of Code Geass. Mr. Brian Carey seems to think that to some degree it's a direct ripoff, but I mean, hey, why not imitate greatness, right?
Fair enough. I can't argue that point. That's fair.
So with this anime, you're gonna get a lot of character depth. It's got some budget behind it, so the battle scenes are beautiful. Stunning visuals. You got awesome looking mechs, new styles of mechs that you haven't seen before. I mean, you can kind of liken them a little bit to the Gundam Wing, but in the same vein, it's a little bit different.
I miss Gundam Wing.
We all miss Gundam Wing. We all do. All the days, baby. Now, as I was saying, Valvrave is so far in the 6 episodes that have been released. I'm ready for episode 7.
As am I.
I'm ready for episode 7. They are really taking the time to. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to find that one character that you could identify with. Not so much identify with, that one character that you can say, yeah,
that stood out amongst the rest.
That's my character. You know, I like him. Or her, of course. We know, no discrimination here. But they are taking the time to develop each integral character of the story, and that is very appreciated.
Another new anime to actually talk about is The Devil is a Part-Timer. Rob, if you'd like to take the floor, it's also a brand new anime that just came out recently. Rob, if you'd like to take the floor, please do.
Alright, Devil's a Part-Timer is also new anime that came out recently. The manga actually just came out in February. The manga just started. It's not too far ahead, as far as I understand. But the anime is really good, very entertaining, very funny. It actually got some good fight scenes. Definitely a good budget. I think that's one thing that's helping these anime stand out is the budget behind it. I mean, we live in an age where things gotta be pretty. Phones gotta be pretty. Movies gotta be pretty. Everything gotta be pretty. Otherwise, they ain't worth looking at. Video games as well.
Exactly.
So the budget definitely is a good way to start. I think they have pretty good writing. The characters, like I said, all entertaining, very different. Because more toward they're not the shonen type of straight characters. They all just got their own weird quirks and whatnot. So
exactly.
So I think that always helps, differentiate between all of them. So overall, I think it's a great anime. I like when I'm saying like it's entertaining. I wouldn't put an anime of the year or nothing, but it's definitely something you can look out on the weekend. Chill out and watch some Devil's a Part-Timer.
Right, definitely. And just to add to that, it is both comedic and also they do it's action packed. It's action packed. I mean, the very first episode, just to spoil a little bit, you start off with the fight scene.
It's
and you're wondering, what does this have to do with part-time? And very quickly you see, I mean, the writers, they did a very good job also with the soundboard, the score of it, having the music and just the sounds of the anime directly relate to what's going on.
Very effective use of the score. Yes.
Very effective, whether it be just the music cutting out or dialing up the suspense where, you have something suspenseful going on, they got the music going, then they cut with some comic relief a little bit, and the music's out, and then, okay, let's resume back, and they put it right back. And so they're very effective use of that.
And of course, we can't let it ride without talking about the hottest new anime on the block, Attack on Titan. Now, if I may, I've been disillusioned with anime myself for quite a while. But this one right here, I don't even know where to begin. The character beats, the tragedy that permeates the story, like right from the jump, it's incredible. It's heart-wrenching. It makes you feel. You really feel for these characters right away. They throw them in a situation. How do I put it?
It's very apocalyptic.
Very apocalyptic. Very dark.
Humankind is at risk of being demolished, of being extinguished.
I mean, the title speaks for itself. Basically, the premise: humanity lives in fear of these giants, these giant wild giants that come out. I said giant giants, didn't I?
Giant wild giants.
Humanity is. They live in fear of these massive titans. They come in, they're wild beasts. They don't think, obviously. They're no more clever or more intelligent than a wild beast. They come in, they eat human beings. People live in constant fear of these things. Humanity has erected walls to protect themselves from these massive titans, and it means nothing. The story is about this group of soldiers that defends humanity from these titans. And, wow, I mean, the score, the character development, the character beats. A lot of my faith in the industry is being restored bit by bit with this one anime alone. I can't really say enough about it. We definitely implore you guys to check it out.
Most definitely. The anime, I think what this anime does a little bit better is it stays very close to what has been written. They even use some of the actual scenes is actually straight off the panel. Like they keep to the source material real hard, which is something you don't always see in the anime adaptation of most mangas. They always kind of stray off just a little bit or add a little extra, either necessary or not. So I think it's one of the best manga to anime adaptations. So it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of action, good score, good music all around. It was also made by a very important person who wrote something very popular recently. I can't remember the name now, but either way, definitely worth checking out. Y'all can always look it up on the wikis and whatnot. We also can look at the Game House where we're gonna have posts on that as well. So always come and check us out on that.
Posts will be coming on both Attack of the Titan and Devil is a Part-Timer. Look out for that. And they will be gifted up too for you.
All right.
Shameless promotion, not a problem. Okay. I'm gonna stop it right now because that's all we got written. How long did that? Damn. Stop. Well, guys.